Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, Fyre Festival is definitely off this time. Or is it?
Also, did these people find the worst thing to bet on?
All that and more on the way next. Thanks for checking out another episode of the RadioU Podcast. Coming up in this show, we talk about a woman in Florida who's caused a bit of controversy for letting her kids skip the last couple days of school.
Okay.
For the year.
Yes.
She's caused some debate on that. Here's some, and I think I'll just spoil this for when it comes up later in the show and we give more thoughts on it, that we both tend to agree that it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
I thought of another reason why it's not a big deal.
Okay.
To double down or triple down on the idea that the kids should be able to skip the last few days of school if they want to, is that when you're in school, you can only skip so many days of the year, right? Before you start getting into
truancy issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so if the kids at the end of the school year have attended enough days to still have the ability to still have enough days left over that they can skip, I think you should reward them. They've been diligent all year long. They've earned it.
That is something I know some schools do. If you haven't missed a certain amount of days, if you already got your work done or whatever, they let you leave early. Specifically, they do this for seniors a lot.
Yeah. Where
they'll say if your grade is at this level, like you know your grades, maybe your GPA or something, and you haven't missed more than this amount of times, then you can leave a whole week early.
Yeah.
You know, the whole last week of school, you can skip out and just enjoy your start to summer a little bit earlier. So I tend to agree that could be a fun little incentive, but also I will use this because it just dawned on me. You know how we always judge people using the whole idea, well, if everyone did it, would that make the world worse or better?
Good point. I love using that argument.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, what would the world look like if everybody skipped out on the last few days? Would we just push the school year a little back?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you're not skipping at all. You just get summer a little earlier and maybe the start to the fall a little earlier. I don't know.
That is a good question because that dawned on me too. I didn't think about it the exact way you phrased it, but I was like, what if everybody kind of didn't come?
Go to the last couple days.
And you can't do that.
No.
But I say this when we talk about it later, that everybody, when they know the last day is coming up, almost everybody is in it's almost over mode anyways, and you're not getting a lot of learning or anything of value done besides, saying goodbye and seeing your friends for the last
and
time.
And doing fun stuff.
Yeah, and whatever. So I don't know. The answer I feel like is you can never solve this problem.
No. And I will say, this parent that posts this TikTok, I didn't get to mention this, but something came to me. Very privileged to be able to have her kids come out of school earlier and it won't impact her work.
True.
Because a lot of parents don't have that privilege. Both parents, if it's a two-parent household, they have to work.
Even if they can have the kids come home early from school, they don't want them to stay in school as long as they will let you.
They don't have a way to, watch them or something if your kids aren't old enough to take care of themselves at home. You have to get grandma involved or you have to go to daycare or whatever it may be. So not every parent, not every home has the ability to make something like this work.
Yeah, that's true. I want to rewind a little bit. What was your GPA in high school?
In high school, I don't know what it was. I don't remember.
I don't know what mine was either. It wasn't good.
Okay.
But here's why I brought this up is because I've seen a lot of people posting recently of like what their GPA was. And here's how bad I was in school. I didn't even know you could do this. They had GPA. I thought you could only get a 4.0. That was the highest, right?
Yeah, you can get higher than
that. You
can
get way higher than 4.0.
Yeah.
I mean, I never got close to 4.0.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that there was anything higher than that.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing these people that are like, yeah, I took these extra classes and did this extra stuff and whatever. I don't know how it works because I never did
It's all very strange how it works. I do know in college I made like the dean's list or whatever. So I had a high enough GPA to get that.
Yeah.
Because it was always like a GPA that got you on that list. But I don't even remember what the requirement for that was.
I don't know. I guess I just didn't know there was a way to make my GPA look even worse when I was in high school. Apparently there is. This is what it's come to in 2025, the year of our Lord. You can now bet on whether Jesus will return this year. 8772 Radio U. Looking at the odds right now, you could buy a share of Jesus not returning in 2025 for 97 cents versus a share of him returning this year before December 31st at midnight for about 3 cents. So the odds heavily in favor of Jesus not coming back in 2025. But it is something, nevertheless, that you could weigh in with your hard-earned dollars on Polymarket.
Yeah, this is crazy. Also, why would you want to bet on this?
I have an answer.
Okay.
Because I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking if you wanted to bet yes, that would be, because that's the long shot, right?
Yeah.
And that's what people love to do, is bet a little to win a lot. So that's the long shot that Jesus would come back this year. But if you win, what good is that going to do you?
Yeah, the betting market's not around anymore if Jesus comes back.
Yeah, that's right. Polymarket's probably out of business, first of all. Jesus has returned. The world may have ended, and if you're still around, you're still around, what good is that money going to do you?
Right.
So why would you bet yes? But then no seems to be the smart play, but that's tying up a lot of money to win not much of anything for an entire 6 months still. But I have the answer. According to Eric Neiman, who runs the Unexpected Values blog, he claims that this is actually just a smart money move for the yes bettors, because what they're doing, because this is not like DraftKings where you just bet and then DraftKings holds your money until the end of the year or until Jesus comes back.
Yeah.
This is Polymarket, where it's like an exchange, where you're trading shares of whether Jesus will come back or not. And so the thinking is, you bet yes now, you buy the yes, and that means somebody's selling you the no, or buying the no from you, I guess. And the theory is that they will become impatient, want to use that money on something else before the end of the year, and then sell back to you at a loss to them and a gain to you.
Okay.
You'll sell you will be able to get your profit back that way.
Okay. Well, I don't know how popular this little buy-in or buyout is, but I doubt you're making much money on this.
I can tell you that so far this year, $513,000 of wagers or shares have been traded in this market.
Why? I do not understand that.
I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess it is. The people that are betting no think they're being smart. It's like, Jesus isn't coming back this year. And even if he does, what good is that going to do me? So, what good would betting yes do me? So they're thinking they're being smart. And then there's these, wonks getting into the nitty gritty that are like, I'm going to make 8 cents off of these bozos because they can't wait till the end of the year to tie up their money. So they're going to have some other dumb thing they want to bet on. Meanwhile, I profit.
Well, and that I feel like that's taking quite a chance, which that's just betting in general. You're taking chances.
Yeah.
But overall, I just think this is so stupid because we don't know when Jesus is returning. And also, I don't think you can really depend on profiting on people voting that he will return.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 cents to buy into that.
Well, you could buy, that's 3 cents a share. You could buy a lot, buy in bulk, but then you're tying up, now you're wagering a lot of your money that people are going to get impatient, which is probably, that's a good bet. People are impatient and they want to bet on other things. But Allie, you and I know that if you really want to bet on Jesus coming back this year, you know how you do it?
How?
With your soul.
Well, and that's exactly what I just said. Is like, there's no point in putting money on this.
Don't put money on the line.
You know when Jesus is coming back. The Bible literally says Jesus doesn't know when the return will happen. Don't put any money down on this.
Put your money where your soul is. Just if you think Jesus is going to come back, don't buy the yes for 3 cents. Just say, God, I want you to take me with you when you come back. Start it there. RadioU.com/free gift. Well, because we can't go a week without talking football, And when I say we, I don't just mean Allie and I mean the world. We love football so much, there's a football story all the time, even when there's absolutely no games happening.
Every day. The
football story today is that Saquon Barkley, star running back for the Eagles, has been announced as the Madden 26 cover athlete. 8772 Radio U. How do we feel about Saquon Barkley getting the nod as the Madden cover athlete for the new season?
I mean, Super Bowl champion. Had a pretty iconic moment, which they used in the cover with his little hurdle over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel like...
the backwards hurdle.
Yeah. I feel like what we need to find out, I don't know if somebody's actually tracked this, but with these covers, who is kind of like the person that's getting, getting the raw end of the deal here?
Oh, who's the Jacksonville player that's lying there on the ground?
Who's the Jacksonville
Saquon Barkley
player?
Jumped over.
Yeah, or also for teams, like how many teams you are in the cover, like your team's in the cover, but you're the bad team in the cover. You're missing the block or whatever, you're missing the tackle. How many of those teams have shown up in these covers? I
was looking at some of the historic covers, and it looks like they haven't done that type of thing for a while.
Okay.
Even this one...
they do kind of edit him out.
You barely can see, because there has to be somebody for him to be jumping over backwards.
Yeah.
But in previous years, I'm going back through the last 10 or so years, it's usually just one guy, and a lot of times he's not even doing a football thing.
Yeah.
He's not even playing. He's screaming.
Yeah.
Or it's Gronk and he's spiking the football. Or here it's Patrick Mahomes and he's flexing or whatever. They're not even playing
They
football.
bring them in for a photo shoot or something.
So I do like that they've gone back to an actual action shot.
Right. Well, it's such an iconic moment.
It really is.
You could not use it.
It is. I think it's the perfect cover because it is the highlight of the last season.
Yes.
And I say that now. I had a lot of regret, Allie. I thought in this world of trying to get attention online, I thought a little too late after the fact, the ultimate zag would have been to come up with some take as to why the Saquon Barkley backwards hurdle was actually bad.
No, it's not.
That
it's
would have
so
been
awesome.
The flaming hot take that would have gotten so much attention when it happened.
I don't know about that, but I feel like it's so cool, so iconic, and also it's very rare that you see one of these plays where it's such a almost like a trick play, a crazy, insane thing that's caught on camera. And it's also by the Super Bowl champion, a team that wins the Super Bowl. It's so rare to see those two things happen together.
Right. A lot of time, obviously, many of the highlights that we think of with the NFL and with the sports are with the star players. But a lot of times the goofy, it's amazing, but it's also goofy just because it never happens.
It's very strange.
It's so unique. And a lot of times those kind of plays are done by guys that, that's their one moment.
Exactly. They're playing on the Jets or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's perfect that it was an MVP contender.
It was the moment of the year as far as a viral moment in the NFL season for last season. And it was on the team that won the championship. So it won the Super Bowl. So that's crazy.
They basically Saquon Barkley made it easy for EA Sports to choose the cover this time around.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulations to him. Heard Sparkle on Middays talking about this yesterday. 8772 Radio U. Sparkle was talking about this mom in Florida, of course, that's letting her kids skip the last couple days of school.
Probably already let them do this because I feel like most kids are out of school now.
Yeah, although the schedules are crazy. Yeah, some people end at in the end of May, and some kids are going to start in 3 weeks. It's crazy how
start school again.
Yeah, in Arizona they start super early.
That's kind of weird.
One of the reasons I hate Arizona. Just one of them.
Okay.
But nevertheless, this mom said she was going to let her kids, which I don't know. I think this is important. The ages, I don't think
7
that's
and
revealed.
12.
Okay. She says that they can skip the last couple days. She says if they want to go, they can go. But if they don't want to go, they can stay home.
I'm sorry,
she doesn't care.
If you're going to give the kids the option of not going, they're probably not going to go.
That's what I'm wondering. That's why I thought the ages was important.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, I always have to add the caveat. I was homeschooled.
Okay.
So I skipped every day of school. But my mom let me skip them all. But I do, like, I know how it is, right? And I feel like the younger the kids are, it's funny because I feel like the less useful the days of school would be at the end of the year if you're really young, like if you're in elementary school.
Sure.
But also the more likely the kids would want to go because school is more fun then.
Yeah, they've got like field day, water day.
Yeah, right.
They've got like all sorts of stuff. Somebody literally commented on this TikTok that went viral of this lady saying this is what she was planning to do or what she had already done. And he said, my kids would be so disappointed if they missed the last few days. You got splash pad, movies, field day, auctions, all on the last days. That's the fun stuff that they've waited all year for.
Yeah, it's like it's like which is exactly why it'd be fine for them to skip because like they're not actually learning things.
Yeah, and this is why I have no problem with this because I am not a parent, but I have heard from several parents that there's literally no learning going on in those last few days.
Yeah.
Maybe even the entire last week. And if you talk to teachers, they'll probably say the same thing. And it does sound like this mom talked with the teachers to let them know. Because there was a teacher in the comments of this TikTok being like, I want to say goodbye to my kids.
Yeah.
But they let the teachers know. So the teachers were okay with this. And a lot of people do this. They pull their kids out early to get on an early vacation.
Yeah.
So this is not a big deal.
If you are in a school where it does run up past around Memorial Day and even past that, then like that. Just you might have a vacation planned around Memorial Day.
Right.
And the kids don't need to go to Splash Pad Day.
No.
And then when you get older too, like the 12-year-olds in middle school, that's when I start to wonder because I feel like you're not having Splash Pad Day when you're 12 years old.
Maybe not, but they do still do fun things the last couple days. And sometimes also as they get older, high schools and whatnot, they'll let them out earlier than like elementary or middle school.
And the thing to me is, I definitely feel this way that like no matter when you let the kids out, when they know the last day is coming, when you know the year's almost over, like I feel like your mind is going to start to wander if they're trying to get you to focus on anything anyways.
Yeah, there's no way.
Once you hit that last week or so, you're in vacation mode. It's just like when you're an adult and you got a vacation coming up, it's hard to buckle down and focus on anything because all you're thinking about is all the fun stuff you're going to do once you're finally out of this prison of a school. Once you can finally use your phone all day.
Right.
Yeah, all the things I'm going to do. So I don't have a big problem. I don't have a big problem with this.
No, this is no big deal.
As a former homeschooler. It gets my stamp of approval. To that moment when you're a kid and your mom is like, you got to clean this room and you're not allowed to come out until it's done. Until I can see the floor. Allie, did you have a very clean room when you were a child?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, I would have thought you would have been like a good kid that like kept the room constantly clean.
I mean, I was a good kid. I followed the rules and everything, but I loved playing with like Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls. Yeah. Bratz were a big thing when I was a kid. And so I would love to like set up their little houses and everything, and I would just leave it all over my bedroom floor. And I also, for the longest time, shared a room with my older sister.
Ooh.
And if you ever have kids share a room, you'll know that I feel like it's more likely that room gets messy.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and so when we did finally get different rooms, my room was a lot better and a lot neater.
Oh, okay. So it's all your sister's fault.
No, I think when I finally had my own space, I actually did kind of want to take care of it.
Okay.
And now I am kind of that way, like a neat freak where I'm like, everything needs its place and very organized and stuff. So
there's definitely something to the idea that like when you share a room, you're more likely to have it messy.
Yeah.
Because when your parents come and go, it's time for you guys to clean your room. You go, but it's not it was him.
I didn't get that out.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
I didn't play with that.
He should have to clean it up. And I'm the opposite. I feel like I'm not a neat freak now, but I feel like I'm very organized and I always want everything very clean. But definitely proven from when me and my brother split rooms, his everything is always so organized. Like every time I've ever seen anywhere he stays.
Okay.
Everything organized. So it was my fault that the room was dirty.
You were the problem child.
But there was, and did you ever think this though, when your parents would be like, it's time to clean your room. And you'd be like, what do you care? You don't have to come in. If you don't like it, just stay out. Just close the door. Just I know where everything is. It's fine in here.
No, I knew that it was bad.
I mean,
I knew I needed to clean.
Deep down, but you also don't want to clean. So you're like, Mom and Dad, get out.
Yeah.
It's fine in here the way it is.
I would just tell my mom, I'd be like, but we're using this stuff. I know it doesn't look like we are, but we're using this stuff.
Yeah. It's the idea of, it's a mess, but I understand it. I'm fine with this mess. Close the door, leave me alone. Stop talking to me about my mess.
Right.
And that is, we don't like feeling that kind of condemnation, And when your parents at some point, when you're old enough, they are not like, your room's a mess, let me help you clean it up. They're like, you need to fix this. You need to, again, I remember my dad saying something, I need to be able to see the floor, which tells you how bad it had gotten in my room.
Okay, yep.
But my dad wasn't going to help, and why should he? It was my mess.
Yeah, it was totally your mess.
But what's crazy about a relationship with God is, he sees the mess that deep down we all know we've got a mess in our lives, and we're to the outside world. We're like, just stay out. I'm closing the door. Stay out of here.
Don't look too close.
It's my mess. I'm fine with it. I can deal with it. Whatever. I'll just step on the Legos and hurt my feet. It's just I'm fine with that. But God wants to come in and actually help you clean up the mess. He's not just fine seeing the mess. He's not yelling at you about the mess. He's like, let's admit it. This is a mess. But we can clean it up together.
Yeah, he's not judging you for it. Obviously, we know that we will never meet God's standards. But the best part is he's not requiring us to. He is just offering us a free gift of grace. And that's literally the definition of grace. It's free. And so you don't need to worry about God being like, oh, when I get a look at that, I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Not only close the door, I don't want to come in.
Yeah, no. God sees every little flaw and every little bit of our lives that we think are hidden. He sees all of it, and he still wants a relationship with you.
All the stuff that you just shoved under the bed.
Yeah.
He knows about it, but he still loves you.
Yes.
And while the world wants to tell you that your life is a mess and you need to fix it, clean it up, you need to fix it, God's not yelling at you like that. Jesus wants to help. If you want to know more, check out RadioU.com/free gift and start talking to God wherever you are right now. Say, hey, Jesus, I do need some help cleaning up. Let's figure this out. All right, stop me when this sounds familiar. 8772 Radio U. Fyre Festival.
Oh, boy.
Is off. It's not happening, but it kind of is still.
Oh, okay.
Fyre Festival, obviously a festival that went down in infamy several years ago. It was one of the quickest big disasters to multiple documentary pipelines of the fastest turnaround I've ever seen.
So quick. And it was probably because of how viral it was when it first happened.
And there were so many people on hand at the time that were influencers that were filming and everything that made it probably easier too. So that obviously that's gone down in history as a big bad mark.
Yeah, a moment.
A big bad moment. Then, though, we heard earlier this year, Fyre Festival 2, somehow Billy McFarland had escaped from the turmoil that was brought into his life by Fyre Festival 1. And he's like, I'm doing it again. And this time it's going to be better. Trust me.
Oh.
And people bought tickets.
People bought tickets for this.
Then earlier, just recently, it was announced that Fyre Festival 2 wasn't actually going to happen.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Literally shocking.
And,
oh, my goodness.
And they were going to put the Fyre name up for sale.
Is that how they were going to pay ticket holders back?
Yeah, I guess so. And then what happens is supposedly an island off of the coast of Honduras decided, hey, we want to get in on the Fyre Festival thing. So we want to host not a festival, but what they're basically calling a resort week. So Fyre Resort is now supposed to be happening. And if you bought a ticket to Fyre Festival 2, you have early access. You can already get in on this. the Fyre Resort that's happening. I mean, is it happening? I guess time will only tell.
I think it's in September is when the dates for
but
this.
But will it actually happen in September is now what we want to know.
This is the thing. We're not sure, but I think it's more likely now because it sounds like they at least have already admitted to themselves that they're not going to get any musical acts because they have no money and they have no
no musical acts want to be associated with this.
No one wants to come perform at Fyre Festival or Fyre Resort.
Everybody still remembers that Ja Rule was supposed to be a part of the original Fyre Festival. And that's the only thing. Ja Rule had a big career in the early 2000s. Nobody remembers him now.
No.
Except for Fyre Festival.
Yeah, everybody remembers how bad that went. Yeah. So I think this is just totally them trying to keep the IP around, and it sounds like the person who owns this resort is just trying to benefit off of the IP as well, because it's only a 3-star resort. It's not like some type of luxury resort or something.
It looks like September 3rd through 10th. It will be at a hotel in Utila, Honduras, and if you already had Fyre Festival 2 tickets, you're eligible for a 3-night stay. If you haven't purchased tickets already, good for you. But you are eligible if you'd like to buy a room starting at $198 per night if you're a single person.
Okay.
$329 if you're a couple. $399 if you're a triple. And $449 for the hotel's 4-bedroom. Okay, so this is these are single rooms, double rooms, not like if you're individual, you have to buy a $200 room and you're getting taxed on for being single.
Right. No. But also these are not like a chalet or something. This is literally a room just chocked full of beds. Like if you were to get the 4-bedroom, it's like a tiny room with 4 beds put in it.
Yeah. So, but at least they can't, I'm not going to say they can't. It'll be harder for them to let people down at this point.
Yeah, I mean, your expectations have to be low, guys.
Yeah.
They have to be low.
But also, like, why? I don't know. I guess this, everything is just about the experience. And you could spend $200 on any, hotel room, resort experience. But this one will be the Fyre Festival one.
Yeah,
you'll be involved in that.
And you can film TikToks and videos of I went to Fyre Festival.
Yeah, and whether it's good or bad, it'll be good content.
Yes.
Take your sunscreen, hold it in your hand, chuck it out the window. 8772 Radio U. The sunscreen you have is wrong. It's full of chemicals. Some studies say only a quarter of sunscreen is even effective and safe anyways. But I have the answer. 8772 Radio U. What should you do? You should switch to beef tallow sunscreen.
Should you?
That's what some sunscreen brands would have you believe. I have an ad here that's gone viral for sunscreen from Primarily Pure, which seems to literally be based on sheer zinc and tallow, and that's it. Of course, we know tallow also what's used to fry up Steak and Shake fries.
Yeah.
And it used to be for McDonald's fries before it was discontinued way back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. My favorite thing is there's a tweet here that says, "Babes, you're poisoning your face. Try this rendered beef fat instead."
Yeah, that's the way to go. All those chemicals, you think that's safe and sunscreen? You're doing it all wrong. Just slather some fat on you. Butter yourself up.
Wow.
Get out in the sun.
Wow.
You'll look great. Mm-hmm. It's real healthy for you.
This is going to be controversial. I don't use sunscreen.
You don't use sunscreen at all?
Not really, no.
That is controversial.
Yep.
I've got a person here that's literally Dr. Shireen Idris, who is a dermatologist, who says the danger is not what's in your sunscreen, but the misinformation that's stopping you from using it. Just wear the sunscreen, she says. Allie, why don't you wear sunscreen?
I don't know. I just always forget. I just never pack
it.
I never pack it with me.
Uh-huh.
I don't burn.
Yeah.
I tan pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm never worried about it. I'm never thinking about it, even though I know that there are reasons why you should put sunscreen on.
Uh-huh.
I just don't. I don't know why.
Wow. I can't be too hard on you. I rarely wear sunscreen also.
Yeah.
I tan pretty well too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hairy. I
Okay.
think that helps.
Your hair can protect you for sure.
So I rarely wear sunscreen, and then there's probably like once or twice a year where I kind of slightly regret because I get a little burned, and so
Singed.
a little regret. But I mean, if I'm going to the beach, which I love to do, I'll wear sunscreen then. But just like some people put it on, they put it on every time they're out in the sun at all.
Yeah.
I only do it if I know I'm gonna, if I'm gonna be out for hours and exposed. Then maybe,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's not that I've never used it before. There are certainly circumstances where I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I grew up in a very sunny place and I got used to seeing the sun every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it never became a worry for me for whatever reason.
You built up an immunity.
I don't know if I would say that, but I never thought about it because it was just always there.
Mm-hmm.
It was always there growing up. So there was never like days where I thought to myself, wow, the sun's really bright today. Or like, it's so, because it was just
singeing
always,
my skin.
it was always the same.
Yeah.
And so, coming here to the United States, it's like, you never really know what you're going to get. You get cloudy days, you get rainy days, and then you get some sunny days. And in Ohio, it's like you can never guess. But so I don't know.
I think the beef towel. I don't want to look down on the beef towel. I know it sounds like you're just frying your skin with fat.
Right.
But it's obvious. Like, come on. Honestly, that's not what it is. And I don't feel like there's any. While there's no necessary. I mean, it says it's SPF 30. While there's no proof that it's any better than the typical copper tone or whatever you would get, there's also no proof that it's worse.
Yes.
So slather it on.
Maybe, but I feel like you probably are paying up quite a bit to get this version of the primarily pure, that type of branding, So
Yes.
I think for the most part, as that dermatologist said, if you're going to use sunscreen, whatever sunscreen you get is probably going to be fine.
My controversial opinion, never buy the aerosol sunscreen.
Like the one the spray on?
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, why not?
Because you're just spraying that into the air and not on your skin. Like, think about the percentage that goes on your skin versus how much just
Flies off.
Yeah, it's just blown away in the breeze, the sea breeze. Just get the actual stuff. It's actually on your skin.
Yeah, the lotion.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay.
The country of Turkey is trying to put an end to a controversial airplane practice. 8772 RadioU. If you're the type of person that likes to unbuckle or even stand up before the airplane reaches the gate and they turn the seatbelt sign off, if you're in Turkey, you could get fined for this practice.
Ooh.
It's new that they just instituted this, where they say, despite announcements informing passengers of the rules, many are standing up before the aircraft reaches its parking positions and before the seatbelt sign is turned off. This behavior compromises the safety of passengers and baggage, disregards the satisfaction and exit priority of other travelers. They don't say here how much you could be fined if you were caught guilty of doing this.
Yeah.
But if we know anything about air travel, when they say they're going to they can punish you as severely as they want, I feel like.
Definitely.
What would seem severe in many other cases, when it's on a plane, it's anything goes as far as punishment.
Yeah, literally. And we've seen footage from planes where it seems like the Wild West is happening on these planes. It's like outlaws. Like, who's doing what? Who's running this ship? But so I think that's probably important to note. But I don't know how often I'll be flying to Turkey.
Yeah.
So or Turkish Airlines because I'm assuming, is this all airlines flying to Turkey? Is this Turkish Airlines? Like, how is this even going to be implemented?
I think it would be, this is any flight that's landing in Turkey, right?
In Turkey.
Yeah, would be subject.
Can they get all the airlines to agree to that?
I think they can probably do that.
Because that's the thing that I don't understand. Because with international travel, it's really tricky with which jurisdiction are you under, when you land in a country and maybe you're just stopping there at the airport and then moving on to the next place with all these different airlines from all these different countries coming in. So I don't know. I don't know how they can implement this.
You should test it out. Fly on a non-Turkish airline into Turkey.
I'm not the
and
person.
And stand up and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not the person that does this, though.
Do you think this is a good plan, though?
I absolutely do agree that this is a problem on flights and that something needs to be done about this. And fines feel like the only way that you could actually discourage people from doing this and to get them to stop. My parents always used to tell us when we were flying, they were always like, just wait for everybody to move past because it would be that big rush when the flight had landed and was taxiing. And there's no point to just get up and stand and wait there. So we would just sit and we would like read a little bit of the book we were reading or do something else, maybe listen to music or something and wait for people to clear out. And then you have all the room in the world.
You've been on the plane for however many hours. What's another 3 minutes?
Yes.
While the impatient people start hopping off.
Yes.
This is what I'm thinking. I think that this law doesn't go far enough.
Oh.
You got to start fining people for standing up before it's their turn to get off the plane. Because I just flew twice. I just took a couple flights.
Yeah, no, that happens a lot.
Every flight you ever get on, there's people in the back of the plane are standing up as soon as it hits the gate.
Yes.
What good is that doing? You're standing with your butt in somebody's face, pulling your bags down, knocking other people. There's only space for 2 people to stand fully erect without being hunched over anyways.
Right.
Wait your turn.
Yes.
Like I just said, you've been on this plane for at least an hour or 2. What's another 3 minutes while you actually wait for everybody to go in order?
Again, I feel like the planes are truly the Wild West, and they reveal some of the worst parts of humanity.
If you stand up on a plane early, before it's your row's turn to get out. Yeah, you've revealed a lot. You've told me a lot about yourself.
Told me a lot about you. And again, I don't think you're actually this way most of the time in real life. It's just something about the airplane.
But on a plane.
Something about the airport that brings the worst out of you.
You are showing your most selfish and impatient instincts.
Yes.
We have a high-speed chase that recently took place in Illinois. 130 miles an hour.
Oh.
These guys were going. And it started at an unlikely place. Dollar Tree.
What?
8772 Radio U. Here's the story. The 2 men have been arrested now after they allegedly went into a Dollar Tree. One of them took a backpack. One of them took a laundry basket. And they wound up exiting the store with nearly $1,400 worth of stolen goods.
Was that everything in the Dollar Tree?
Yeah, how does a Dollar Tree even have $1,400 worth? I know the prices have gone up there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's now $5 Tree instead of Dollar Tree.
It's $1.25
still,
now.
How do you wind up, especially in just a backpack and a laundry basket? How big was that backpack? $1,400 worth of goods, but that's not all they did. They actually wound up getting away from the Dollar Tree unscathed.
Really?
But about 20 minutes later, I mean, I think they had...
The Dollar Tree called the police.
Yeah, but they hadn't been caught yet. And before the entire car chase took place, these guys had to make another pit stop at Walgreens.
Oh.
Where they walked in and stole antacids, memory supplements, and women's Rogaine.
What?
And that is where the chase took place. Police spotted their car, and then from there, a 24-mile chase took place that reached speeds of 130 miles an hour before eventually the police called it off. It had gone into a different county, and they're like, all right, this is dangerous, going 130 miles an hour. These guys, while they were driving, had apparently hit a few vehicles. They had avoided stop sticks. Honestly, I was watching some of the video. I'm trying to figure out what kind of car these guys are driving.
Yeah.
Because this is,
How are they able to beat the police cars in speed?
I'm mad, but I also am impressed. You were going 130 miles an hour and you still missed the stop sticks?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know, but
are you
also...
a NASCAR? Are you Jeff Gordon?
Right? What are you doing?
Are you Denny Hamlin? How did you do this?
Usually I feel like what I see with these chases, because back in the day, watch some cops. You know, you watch some police or live PD.
Daytime TV. You gotta fill the time somehow.
Yeah, the live PD and all that. I enjoyed those. And usually the cops would be able to catch up to them and they would try like pit maneuver or something like that to get them to stop, and are generally pretty successful because most cars are not going to be able to outrun the police cars.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come from all sorts of different directions because they're calling more people to come, more officers to come. They're dispatching more people from different areas. So they're saying like, hey, they're going this way, go up ahead of them, and then you can stop them there.
Yeah, use the stop sticks.
Yeah, so this is nuts.
Yeah, these guys evaded police for 24 miles before the police finally gave up as far as the high-speed chase goes. But then they were able later to spot these guys and take them into custody. So now these two fellas are, I believe, they have been charged with robbery and attempting to flee an officer, and they've got some pretty big bonds that they are.
They also pleaded not guilty, which I know like lawyers probably tell you not to do that even if you are, but it makes me chuckle because it's like, you're on camera, bro.
Yeah.
You're guilty.
One of the guys also said he needed the stuff. He, quote, needed the stuff from Dollar Tree.
You needed the women's Rogaine.
You needed 14. I mean, does it only work for women? Actually, they both, I have their mugshots here too. They both have full heads of hair.
Yeah,
so
they don't need Rogaine.
I guess maybe his girlfriend needed it. I don't know, but well, now at least they're off the streets.
Yeah.
But I really do want to know, what kind of car were they driving?
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to go on any high-speed chase.
Right. Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.